Hello there friends, and welcome back to our 30-day zero updates challenge here on the island of Muddle Through. We are on day 19, and if you've been following along, you may have noticed our house is not on the beach anymore. That's right, I found a spot for it and I moved it up here. So yeah, we're part of the woodsy neighborhood. We're on our own level, kind of like Jacques. He's got the lowest level and we've got the highest level. But yeah, I connected it right here. Oh, and here's June's house, by the way, and she's home, so let's go in and see what it looks like. She moved in yesterday, so all her stuff should be out. Oh wow, she has a really cool house. Very seashell-y. I hope she's crafting something seashell-y. It's nice of you to stop by, but I'm kind of preoccupied just now. What are you making? A grass skirt. Okay, well, June, we get it and everything, but we're gonna need something more helpful than that. Okay, well, we tried. Super exciting to have June here on the island, though. And yes, our house now moved part of the neighborhood. By the way, it only cost 30,000 bells to move our own house, so it's a little less than all the other things. And as you can see over here, I've been marking some things out, making plans, getting things ready so we can really get on the ball today, because you guys, day 19, oh my goodness, if you count today and you count day 30, that gives us 12 days to get this island finished, so there's no more time for waffling. We gotta get this thing going. And speaking of recipes, I actually did pick up a couple recipes from Resident Services yesterday. So we have the brick well, which we're gonna go ahead and learn, and then also the fountain, which we're going to learn. I'm hoping to put a fountain in front of our museum, which is going to go in over here on the right somewhere. We're going to have to find a place for another incline. I think we just used our third one. Was that our third one? Let's take a look here. This is what the map's looking like these days. So yeah, we have 3 of our 8 inclines placed already. So we're going to have to, definitely going to be a few more on the right side, like leading up to the museum and stuff. But yeah, we might as well go ahead and get in construction mode because we're going to be doing stuff today. Okay, I mean, I guess we can just start right here. We're going to be knocking down some cliff here. We're going to kind of create a little land bridge across this part that leads over to where our house is, and then over on the other side will be where the museum is going to be, somewhere right in this area. And so we're going to have to mess with some cliffs in front of that too. But yeah, it's just this kind of comes back a little bit, and I thought that we could cut this out and maybe make this into the bird watching area. It's not quite as big as I originally planned, but I think it'll be big enough. We'll see. Well, there it is. Do we think that's enough when you're walking by? We're not going to have like stairs down to it or anything, because it's not really going to be a place you visit. It's going to be a place you look at from up here. So if we put some trees along the back there and kind of the little bird houses and things like that, maybe put a couple little seats up here or something. I'm not 100% sure. I want this to have enough space to walk by, so maybe we can put a path across the top and then just have a couple benches or something. I don't know. I don't really know. Maybe there'll just be a fence so you can just walk up. As you're walking by, you can stop and look at the little birds or whatever they're doing down there. I wish the birds really came to your birdhouse, like the one that lands on top of the bulletin board and stuff. I wish they would really go to the birdhouse and stuff. Then there would actually be something to look at. But we might add in a tiny pond down there too, because we did get the decoy duck design, so we could put some little ducks down there. They're birds that you can watch. So we could actually have a couple of little birds down here. I've gathered up some stuff in our pockets that we can get some preliminary decorating going on here, but let's go ahead and do like a little bitty duck pond, just a tiny one. Nothing crazy. Just enough to give the ducks somewhere to splash around, you know. We'll put down a few of our little rocks around here. And then we gotta figure out where we can fit a few trees in here. So I grabbed some trees and some tree saplings, but this is a bird area. We definitely need trees. Oh, and some of the trees that I grabbed were, one of them's an apple tree. I don't know, that's probably okay, right? One right there. And I'm gonna plant a sapling one here. Hopefully I'll remember to come back and stunt it in a couple of days. anyways, so made a couple of ducks, and I tried to get like the most summery colors of ducks. I don't know. What's the summer color of a duck? I guess all the ducks do summertime. So we have a couple of ducks over here. Probably, you know, we may rearrange all this at some point, so it's not written in stone here or anything. That tree's too in the way, isn't it? We'll have to do a stunted tree there. Yeah, and I think I'm actually... Oh, I was gonna put it one more over, but maybe I'll try it like right here. No, I don't want it lined up with the other tree, but it's not gonna let me put one there, so I'll have to put it like here. Okay, there's that. So we'll have to decide what we want to use for fence here. I would love to get the actual fence item, but I think that might have been a 2.0 item, so we might have to see if we can use some of the old tricks of putting some kind of rail up here so that you can just look over the rail instead of having an actual fence up there. I don't know, we'll have to see. But speaking of fence, I did pick up some fence, so maybe we're gonna have a little bit of fence like along the back here. Just to add a little extra something there. I kind of like to put the fence at different levels so it's not all just, you know, up there. Yes, but I'm going to take this one out. And then I'm going to run around here. I'm going to have to move this duck. Take this one out. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to put one right here. Move that duck back. Alright, we also have a nice birdhouse, which I colored to a color, because I always like forget you can do that with the birdhouse, because that was like one of those first items that you put out before you even get the customization workshop with Tom Nook. And then, okay, wait, I'm gonna put a couple more pieces of fence back here. Okay, and then we have this item that Croak left in the recycle bin when he moved out, which is a kind of a fall item, but I thought it might be fun to include it in our little bird sanctuary area. This is a little place for the other little birds to come get a drink of water, even though it's got some fall leaves in it. We could just pretend like it doesn't have that. Just forget about that. Alright. I haven't fixed our little flower pattern yet, but we're going to... Where even is it? Yeah, we're going to put down a few little flowers down here. I might creep back there, like behind the fence later, and add some more clovers in. I don't know. You know how that goes. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see what it looks like from walking by on the bridge here. Oh, that's pretty cute, right? And if you want to stop and get a better look, you can. So there are some actual birds to watch. We have a bird watching area. We may find some other of our items around the island that we can add to it, or see what it looks like when the trees, those two saplings, get grown up. And yeah, it's a good start. It's a good start. That's what we need today, good starts. Alright, now is going to be time to place our museum. Okay, before we place the museum though, I feel like we should go ahead and carve out our canyon over here, because what's going to happen is, like, I thought the museum should go here, and then like I moved it forward a little bit because I wasn't sure that there'd be enough room to kind of see what's going on back here. If we had, oh, I was gonna use that. If we had this carved out, so let's get our cliff carving situation going. I want to leave like a little corner here, so I want this to curve over to it. So this might take a little bit of messing about to get it exactly right. And then if we kind of start the other end over here from the edge of, I mean like from the middle situation here of this place. I feel like we kind of need to have it 4 spaces wide up above, so it can be at least 2 spaces wide down below, because we don't want just like one skinny path. So this is kind of centered with the thing. It's just gonna have to go a little bit wider. Why do we need to get to the secret beach, you might ask? I don't know. I don't know. No particular reason, but it's there, so we might as well just make a thing of it. I do remember, like, on my first island, like, there's, like, I had this kind of hidden entrance to it, right? So there was flowers and stuff in front of it, and if you didn't know it was there, you didn't necessarily, like, see it, but it was a secret little entrance to the secret little beach. And I thought that was such a cool thing. I just remember like the secret beach being such a big deal at the beginning. So like, ooh, we have a secret beach back here. And then it's kind of like, what do you really do with it? I don't know, but we're gonna make a path to it. We're at least gonna do that. Okay, now let's see what we can do with getting a path wide enough to walk through in here. Here is what we have. Like, it gets pretty skinny in a couple places here. I don't know. Is that okay? Is that wide enough? I think we might have to modify this just a tiny bit more. Like, maybe take this back a little more. Maybe this? Maybe this. A little bit more. Okay, there we go. Okay. And then we can't do that. Oh, I could do that, so maybe I can curve this. Okay, that might help. And then... yeah, there we go. Wait, can I do this now? Okay, that gives it a little more room, but I can't do that. Okay. Okay, I think though, if we let go of our thing so that this can go down normal, yeah, this is not too bad, right? A little path through here. You can see most of it. We might could take that back a little further. I don't know. So then, if that's the case, yeah, I might open the entrance of that a little bit more. So then what I was thinking, yeah, if we put the back of the museum here, then the end will be here, and then we could put some kind of like fence or something so that that's not super obvious, or I don't know. Maybe we use that as part of, you know, what the museum sites have to see or something. I don't know. I kind of like this though. I really do. I think I do want to add just a little bit of opening up here though. Maybe like that, I think. It just makes it so you can see yourself a little better when you're walking through here. Is that like the normal view? What's the normal view? Yeah, this is the normal view. So you got to be able to see yourself back there. So yeah, okay. I like this. I think it's fun. I think it's good. We're gonna do it. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go get the museum moving kit. It's the last thing that we have to move. We're gonna have to go pick up a bag of bells first because we have 6,000 and Tom Nook is not gonna be having that. Ooh, bottle on the beach. What did we get today? A bamboo lunchbox. Okay, that's something cute we can probably use somewhere. Still holding out for that beekeeper's hive though. Haven't seen it yet. Just grab a bag of bells here and head into resident services. Oh, KK Slider's here today. Look at that. Maybe he can keep those villagers entertained so they don't come get in our way while we're working. Although they haven't really been in our way yet, have they? See, that's another good thing about putting paths on the island. They're over walking the paths that they can walk and not walking into our path, which is super helpful. All right, so consulting Blathers. Obviously, he's on board. Go forth and find us a place fitting for scientific wonder. Yes, that is exactly what we're going to do. A place fitting for scientific wonder and blue pansies and waterfalls. Okay, let's take a look at this. This has to be right because, like we said, well, although we kind of have a lot of bells now, but we would like to finish paying off our house if we could. So yeah, that leaves a little bit of room behind it if we want to put a fence in or some other kind of something. I think that's going to be the way to go. So yes. This museum looks so much older than the one, you know, in the updated version. It's like an old museum, which kind of is cool, but also doesn't really make sense considering that it's on like a new island. Like he just came here and built a museum and he built it to look old. I don't know. I like this little bird watching area. I'm really liking this. Okay, we got to figure out what we're going to put over here then too. What's right below here? Oh, right below there. Okay. Yeah, this is like what's below the land bridge. I do have ideas for that. But this might be a good place. Okay, so we're gonna have like a wishing spot was one of the items off the 20-acre method list for summer that we picked to do. And I think our wishing spot is going to be a little spread out because I want part of it to be down here. There's going to be some multiple elements to our wishing spot. But I think this would be the perfect place to do for wishing on stars. So we can make a place for sitting and wishing on stars. And then down here we're going to have the wishing well. And then also it's where we're going to plant, like we're going to make a place for the money trees. You know how you used to make a place that's just like you can plant the money tree each day, and then the one that's grown in gets cut down and you put the new one in its place. So there's always like 4 trees in it. I used to be really good about keeping up with that on my original island. I not so good lately, but I think it would be fun to make one of those spots. Because since we're playing 1.0, you know, we might as well go back and do some of those fun things that we were all doing at the beginning of everything. Now, I keep getting right behind a tree. I need to take some of these trees out because we got to build some of this cliff up. At least out to where this gray line is. So I got to take out some more trees. And I don't know how that's going to work into our waterfall situation up here. We just, yeah, we're playing it by ear, kind of. I mean, we have half plans. Half plans, that's what we do around here. You know, I always forget that we can buy our own fruit in Nooks too. So if we run out of apple trees, we can totally just go in Nooks and buy like a bunch of apples to move stuff. And we can even probably start placing some of these trees up here. Even though they may get moved later, we can start getting an idea, you know, of what we want going on. I've decided also that I kind of really like this row of bamboo along this path, so we might actually decide to keep that there. I'm not 100% sure yet, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Okay, we're gonna start building up this cliff out here in front of the museum. I don't know quite how far we need to bring it out, so I'm just gonna bring it out a ways, and then we'll mess around with the front area in front of the museum and see how we're feeling about how much further it needs to go. Yeah, I'm not worrying about cliff shaping or anything yet. I'm just trying to get an idea of how we want to do this. So we're going to want at least 2 spaces in the front of the museum for a path to go through. And then we're going to do some waterscaping around here. So like here, Okay, I crafted a bunch of stuff. Before we go any further though, I did pick up some orange pansies to throw down here in this little area. Let's put one here, one in the corner over there. They're not gonna be like super prominent over here. I just thought it'd be fun to have them in here. We gotta start getting our flowers out and around places. Ooh, banded dragonfly. Got you. Nice. That's the second one I've caught today. So back to our work on the museum. Alright, so let's see. We've got this, and I just wanted to make sure that this item is going to center before we get all into our decorating here. Yes, it is going to center. Okay, good. I had to make it this brown color. There was not a color that matches the museum, so it's kind of either this or the white, because I thought black is going to be too dark, and I don't think the gray is really going to match the museum of it all. So let's keep going here. You ever just start with a little bitty plan in your head, and the more you do of it, the more complicated it becomes? That's how I'm starting to feel right now. Okay, we got this though. We got this figured out. Let's see here. Okay, this is starting to come together. This, like, you know, the original vision changes as you go, or it does for me anyway. We're working this in, and this is going to end up being a little fishing spot too, which is kind of cool around the museum because, you know, fish and all that. So we're going to have this on both sides here. I'm going to try to put some bridges in over here. And see what we can do with that. Maybe. maybe. That's kind of my vision at the moment. A bridge on each side and then an incline coming up here. Oh, wait a minute. Except this is an odd number. We would have to put... Oh, we would have to put 2 inclines. One on each side. Okay, see what I mean? This is what I mean when I say it gets more complicated as we go. And the fountain may or may not stay in this area. If we get some bridges up here... Oh, and that will cover up a lot of the fishing area too. I don't know. I kind of want to try it though. Kind of. This is getting crazy though. Okay, I've added this center part in. And I don't know. I think bridges might be a little bit much to try to put up there. So yeah, I kind of shortened the place where the fountain is sitting, and just this is just going to be the front of the museum area. So yeah, we're going to have a path coming around. I'm going to have to build some more cliff around the edges here. We're going to have a path coming around to some inclines that go up the sides here on the right and the left, and that's going to come together into a path that leads up from an incline up here. And I have, maybe if we put it sideways, we can do a centered thing so that it doesn't have to be two to match up with everything. But the entrance of the museum is going to continue on down here, so we're going to start putting in some blue pansies somewhere around all this. And yeah, this is going to be a whole thing, but yeah, that's going to take some more like thinking and figuring and getting all that together. So, but yeah, so this might get connected. I don't know. The waterfall situation might end up being hooked to the museum situation now, and we don't need it to go over this far. So this piece might get taken out. I'm not really sure. We're just going to see how this comes together. There's our campsite. We're starting to get places filled in though, which is good. That's what we need. I just saw another banded dragonfly too. Where did you go? Can we get it? Can we get a 3 today? Yes! Nice! These guys are everywhere today. Okay, well this is going to take a while too. So I'm just going to go find a nice spot to relax and finish up this pattern, so that we have that to work with as we're moving forward and can start decorating things. I think we're just about done with all the cliff construction and water construction, and tree moving will still have to take place probably, and we're never done with balloons. We definitely have plenty of those going around. Let's see what we got here. Oh, just some clay. Boring. Alright, well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me another day here on the island of Muddle Through. We are getting so close to being ready to just decorate, decorate, decorate. We're 2/3 of the way through our challenge. Have we made enough progress to finish on time? I sure hope so. I appreciate you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Have a beautiful day.